Hello, thanks for watching my YouTube channel. I'm Ward Snyder. I'm here with Brian Coker and Jim Rowe, and I'll introduce them formally in a moment. The reason why we're doing this, if you've watched my channel, you've seen plenty of videos on tennis instruction and pickleball instruction. If you look down on my leg, you'll see a Clemson orange cast, and that's the reason why we're doing this. I was injured in a pickleball tournament. My Achilles is torn, and Brian is going to show everyone some exercises how to prevent this. My mission statement here is I don't want anyone to suffer what I have done. We have 400 people that play pickleball in our community here at Kiwi Key, and who knows how many hundreds of thousands around the world. Hopefully they can all learn and benefit from my misfortune. So that's why we're doing this. And let me just introduce, on my left, Brian Coker. Tell us about you, Brian.
I'm the department head here at Kiwi Key Fitness and Racket Center. So I get to help with all the fun that happens here.
And who are you?
I'm Jim Rowe. I'm a member here at Kiwi Key and play a lot of pickleball, a lot of tennis, and try to avoid, sometimes successfully and sometimes unsuccessfully, from getting injured.
He's also our fitness model for today, so we picked the best one we could find.
The other thing that part of the mantra on this, it's going to be fun, it's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be educational. We're going to do a series, and we're going to highlight today on actually not the most common injury, which the most common injury I just researched is the wrist injury. And that's probably resulting from falling, and here's the expert on falling. And
Absolutely.
Testimony to you, I don't think you've ever hurt your wrist falling because you must know how to do it.
No, well, yeah, and we talk about it. And the only thing I can always say about falling is, in tennis or in pickleball, maybe even in golf if you've been drinking enough, is if you're gonna fall, just fall. When I've seen people get hurt is when they've tried to stop from falling, and then you tense up and bad things can happen. And obviously, the direct impact on any of your limbs is gonna cause damage.
Okay, let me also, some facts that I researched. 69% of all fractures in pickleball are female related.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. And the majority of people that are playing pickleball are aged 50 and over. And that could be the big reason why, as we get older, we're not as supple, limber, etc., and we don't stretch as much. And a lot of what we're going to focus on in these next series is Brian with the proper exercises so that our people will really make this a part of the regimen. I think I'm guilty as well. We do not stretch as much as we should.
Or just the preventative exercises that take place consistently throughout when you're off the court.
Yeah.
Those exercises that may not be the most fun. Maybe you love them, maybe you hate them, but it's important that you gotta do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and you can speak to this, Brian, but I think, like when you talk about, the majority of women, well, it's a fact, and we all know that women have a tendency as they get older to have much more bone loss than men. And one of the things that my wife was speaking to my daughter-in-law, who's a physician, and said, what can I do? And she said, the number one thing you can do at your age, which is my age, is do weight training, because weight training creates resistance on your bones, which builds more bone mass. And less bone mass is more fracture.
Yep, absolutely.
Now the other thing, I've been playing tennis my whole life. I've never had a debilitating injury like this. And I'm older than I ever was. I guess I'm older today than I was yesterday. But the fact is, pickleball is a great sport, and nothing, I don't want to disparage the sport.
No.
It's just that it's high impact, quick movements, and Brian will talk more about that. And I think in this tournament, when I went for the shot, all of a sudden I'm on the ground. I mean, that's never happened to me in tennis. So again, the stress on the Achilles, the calf muscles, etc. And as you said, I think Brian's got a lot of exercises that we need to implement with
Sure.
weightlifting, stretching, etc. So actually, Brian, it's time maybe if you could show the best exercise you think for the Achilles.
Yeah, let's jump into this. So what you guys are here for. So as far as the Achilles, like Ward said, we're going to try to look at several different injury prevention exercises and methods for multiple types of injuries. Today going to be the Achilles or calf. We have three different things you want to think about. 1, mobility. 2, stability. And 3, strength. So we will start with mobility. Jim, if you come over here, if you can zoom down here and you see his calf muscles, you'll understand why we picked Jim to be our model here. Best calves in Kiwi.
Wow.
So he knows it.
Yes, and I know that.
So we have our slant board here.
Can I ask, are those implants?
It could be.
They could be. They're the real deal. They already
There's a
made.
rumor.
They
There's a
might
rumor. Same place I get my hair done.
So we have the slant board. So one thing you see people do a lot for Achilles, like I can adjust this board, is they'll get on the board and they'll go up and down, or they'll just stretch here. What this standing calf stretch is doing is actually our gastrocnemius primarily. And that's our big, bulky muscles. Come over here. You can see it better on Jim. His are better than mine. Those big, bulky muscle, that ball right there. What we actually want to target is the soleus and Achilles. It's a long muscle that runs down into and it ties into the Achilles tendon here. So what he's going to do is he's going to place one foot right on that board, just like so, and then he's simply going to push his knee forward. He'll start to feel that more in here, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be the mobility we really want to target here. You don't have to have a fancy slant board. You could put your foot up on a curb or a step and do the same thing. Here,
Brian, does he rock or does he maintain that
so
pressure?
that's a great question. So if I'm about to play, I want to do what's called an active stretch. That's going to be, I want to move in my stretch. So that would be like he's doing. He could rock. He could go forward.
Or even
and
pulsing,
back.
maybe.
Pulsing. All of that is good. You can even do little circles with your knee. You do like where you're taking and kind of doing circles like around.
If I was on the court right now and I didn't have this, could I get the same thing from doing a deep, like a lunge?
So I would try to find something
To
like
push
there's
your
usually
foot
a
up.
curve to get your toe up. You can certainly do a stretch like this where you're dropping back, but that gets a little more dynamic. This is going to be a little more, a little simpler to figure out. See, he's kind of moving around, getting that stretch in all angles of
And
that
it is like it's less and less tight. There's no doubt about it since I started doing it.
Now, once I'm finished playing or finished exercising, I would do a passive stretch. That's where you're just going to push and hold. And you're going to push and hold.
So Brian, would you advocate our members to do this every time before they play?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I guarantee nobody's doing that.
Right. Yeah. And if
You
anything,
see it.
yeah.
You see it.
You see a lot of
You do?
video.
You
You
see
see
it,
a lot of
yeah.
people putting their hands on the fence and doing one of these right here. That's more gastroc right there. You really got to get that bent knee stretching more here, or like he's doing in front.
It's about getting the toe up.
Okay, so Brian, how many minutes before people play to do the necessary exercises to prevent the Achilles?
Well, if you're just looking at this, it takes 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
Now there's a whole there's a lot of other exercises. We're not going to touch those today because we're going to keep it
Yeah.
a little shorter. But for today, we're just looking at the Achilles. Let's move to stability now. So we want stability. So that goes for every joint. Again, today we're focusing right there at the ankle. Right at that hinge or that rotary joint in the ankle. The Bosu ball is really good. Honestly, if you need to just stand, show them just stand on the ground on one foot there, Jim.
All right. Sure.
Let's see if you we're gonna move this so you can kind of see. You kind of see all that movement going on. Jim does a lot of our yoga lattes, AGTs, a lot of our classes, works out with me, and he does a lot of this. So he's pretty good on one foot. So I would move Jim into standing on a unfamiliar environment, a more unstable environment.
And I immediately go to my stronger leg.
That's
we all
yeah.
know, yeah.
So we would typically have something, you can hold me if you need to.
Right.
We would have something that he can kind of hang on to. This is.
No, I'm not going to hold on.
Don't-
And then that's how we really hurt Ward.
Yeah, grab my shoulder.
Are you gonna fall for us?
So, yeah.
Of course. Well, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I do have a few injuries already.
So he's
That's
working.
gonna be
He's
another
literally
video.
just trying to stabilize on there. That could turn into lunges, all sorts of exercises. These are the things that we do on a continuous basis, not just one time before we play. This is something we would work on.
People at home are like going, so when does he go down in this video?
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny, it's over on the left side of my leg where I don't have the stability.
Yeah, it'll expose all kinds of weaknesses.
Do you want to show us how to fall, Jim?
I prefer to do it on clay.
Let's move to some strength now. So,
Did we buy insurance for this thing?
well, that's covered under Ward's YouTube channel. All right, so a lot of people do their calf raises up and down. They may be holding. Again, that's going to target more of our gastrocnemius. We want to go more soleus and Achilles. So we're going to turn this into something seated. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to give Jim some weight. Go ahead and have a seat, Jim.
Now, Brian, is this part of the pre-stretch before we play, or is this something supplemental?
This is something supplemental. These are the things you do when you're not on the court.
So are you saying, can we strengthen the Achilles, or are we strengthening the calf muscles?
So the Achilles is a tendon. There will be some conditioning and strengthening to the Achilles tendon.
Okay.
This is going to target more. The muscles are what really respond to strength, and that does actually bring up a good point. You could do all of these things and still suffer an injury.
Sure.
This is not a guarantee, but these do help. So we have weight applied on top of the knees here, and he's going to just push through his toes and try to lift his heels as high as he can, nice and high, and then come back down.
Again, targeting in the lower area.
Yeah. So trying to go nice and slowly, be intentional to go all the way through the toes.
On the thigh and not on the kneecap. Not on the kneecap.
Yeah.
Just below the kneecap.
Yeah, you want the weight on the knees. Try not to lift with his hips, but really push through his toes. Right there. They do make special machines for this. We don't have a Kiwi key, but there are some seated calf raise machines. Yeah. If you filled out your survey and mentioned expansion of the fitness center, you could have.
It's too late, Brian.
Oh, it's too late.
Deadline's over.
Yeah. So this would be a strength exercise. It's slow and controlled. What you do want to complement this with is some sort of plyometric. So, like Ward said, his injury occurred in a burst of movement. He pushed off very quickly. He's low down to the ground in pickleball, and he moves very quickly. Probably a little different than he would in tennis. So you want to prepare yourself for some of those movements. So you would want to move into some sort of explosive movement. So that could be anything from Jim, just going from here to here. Little footwork drills there.
Okay, so in review, to make it simple for our members and others, before we start playing, maybe 5 minutes worth of exercise, you would do, can you just do the quick review, Brian, so that we all understand exactly what we're going to do without going through the repetition?
Absolutely. I show up to the court, I find a step or a curve, I put my toe up on it, and I'm gonna go 10 times forward, bending that knee. I'm gonna go 10 circles to my right, 10 circles to my left, and then switch feet and do the other side. For my Achilles specific, that's going to be where I go to.
And one of the things that you've showed me before that we were doing when we went out and we were doing some stuff in the pickleball court is if you're either the box that's going into the kitchen on that line, if you do a couple, now you're doing those quick action types of things, moving back and forth, and just move up and back and forth on the box. That can help. That can definitely. And I've done that like right in the middle of it because I'm just standing, and just sort of reactivate your legs. That type of thing.
Show them a little karaoke.
Oh, of course. We got to show some karaoke, right? There you go. All right.
Karaoke. Yeah, and these are the kind of things that are great warm-ups. Jim and I do a lot of this stuff.
Brian, would you say also in pickleball, because of the prevalence of the Achilles issue, when you're on the kitchen line and you're trying to hit a volley, you're reaching forward, are you putting pressure on the Achilles at that moment?
Absolutely, but that's inevitable.
Inevitable.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, I don't know, that's not how I hurt myself, but I think that's certainly the strain on the Achilles.
Yeah. Yeah, all the idea is you do these exercises on a continuous basis, consistent basis. It helps prepare you for those things.
Well, one of the two things that we talked about, I mean, you know, for people like, yeah, as you were saying before too, people who are, you know, I'll hear people all the time say, well, I'm not gonna play pickleball, you know, I don't wanna be in the orthopedics office. And, you know, my favorite line is, better the orthopedics office than the cardiologist. So it's like,
Right.
you pick your own poison in that situation, you know. So I just think it's important that you have to get out there, you have to do it. But the other thing, and I was talking about with Ward, is if you go to any type of professional sporting event today and you show up a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour early, everybody is out on the field of play. They're doing stretching, they're doing yoga, everybody. And some of the top professional athletes just have, you know, they have their own yoga instructor that just works with them. And you know, it's a wonderful thing that we have here. I'll put a plug in for our community, that we have availability of all these different classes. There's a lot of people in them, but there's definitely room for more, and there's a lot of stuff available for you to do. And you know, people joke about how much I fall and I don't seem to ever get hurt. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm in those classes a lot of the days. And big shout out to Laura right now and what she does and all that sort of thing too. Hopefully we'll get her in for one of these sessions, huh?
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this. Please subscribe, because that way you'll be notified when the next video comes out. We're going to do several of these videos. Today was highlighting the Achilles. We'll probably work on the ankle injury, which is the most common. And I think that's followed by, or the wrist is most common, followed by the ankle. Okay? So again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.